Hello, Numa22 here, and welcome back to yet another tier list. I love doing these. They're so simple and they're fun, and I get to complain, and I love complaining. As you guys can tell, we've reached the point of my current hairstyle, where it is so unruly and gross that I have to wear a hat. So your boy's ugly again. Also, I need to trim this. I do like that I'm growing it out, but I need to trim it. Anyways. Right, so the topic of today's tier list is one that I care very deeply about and is very important to my soul. These are video game men that I have romanced in a variety of games. So, we have several characters. I picked a lot of the ones that I didn't want to do too much research into games I know I've played that maybe had romances, so I picked with ones that stuck out in my mind. So, we have 5 categories today. Our first category, which is our best category, hot damn. These are men that are so hot or so romantic, lovely, men that I would yes, hot damn. I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of hot dams. We have oh yes, which is the second category, which is basically our B or our A tier, I guess. Oh yes is just a slight step below hot damn. We have could be worse, which is just men that are there. There is only option. Basically just means the game did not really give me a lot of choice here, and I only picked this person because they were either the only viable option for me or the only actual option. And then the last category, which I really just used to bitch about, I think 3 or 4 men in particular, is should have been fruitier. These are men that I had to either create a female character to romance because of either the time, the way the game works, etc., or these are men that should have, I didn't do it, but I almost did. Just genuinely men that that should have been bisexual or queer for me. This is for me. So yes, so we're going to go ahead and dive on in. So we're going to start with my boy Alex from Stardew Valley. I love Alex. I will say I understood, because for a while I did not get why people hated on Alex. They were like, oh, well, he's so gross to the farmer and he's blah, blah, blah. And I realized that the romantic story is so much more different if you are playing a male farmer. I believe it's a similar aspect to Haley, as where if you're playing a female farmer, she has a much better romantic storyline. And that's how it is with Alex as well. Because you don't really see too many hints of his, misogyny that is present if you're a female farmer. So super cool with that. I understand that now. Which does actually lower it, because that does mean in one universe or another, he's a little misogynistic. But he's also hot. He's a football player and he's hot. So we're going to start Alex in oh yes. On to the next. We have our first should have been fruitier category. I don't even have to think about this one. So this is from Dragon Age Origins, Alistair. Alistair is one of those video game characters that when I was a kid, I remember being like, oh, that's hot? ? I remember as a preteen, or I don't remember how old I was when I played Dragon Age Origins. I know I was a kid. I was either a preteen or at most a young teen. But I remember I used to make him wear nothing. He just wore underwear. He died so quickly in most of my battles because I refused to put armor on him. Now, you might be looking at these photos here and you might be thinking to yourself, did Numa purposely pick several photos where most of the men on this list are either naked or in their underwear? And to that question, I will provide you this answer. So moving on, we are, Alistair should have been fruitier. I am so devastated. And you know what? He's not on here, and I should have put him on here. Cullen also has that. They should have let me have queer Cullen in Inquisition. But that would have honestly messed me up, because I already had to play Inquisition twice for 2 romances. I would have done it a 3rd time. Anyways, so now that we've done Alistair, we're going to move on to my time at Portia. So here's the thing about Arlo. I remember loving Arlo when I played the game. And I think if I went back and replayed my time at Portia, I would love him again. He's going to be at Could Be Worse, because he is, for the art style, okay. Genuinely, that's where I'm landing him at. The art style does not provide very much hunkiness. I know in the sequel, which I haven't played too much, My Time at Sandrock, I know some of the men actually are like kind of fine in that. So they obviously corrected themselves a little bit. But yeah, so Arlo is definitely in my could be worse category. Now we're going to go. This game, Dream Daddy. If you guys have not played Dream Daddy and you're, fruity, a little, happy Pride, you need to play Dream Daddy. For a game that is not porn, it's hot. It's a hot game. And I stand by that. And the hottest of the men in the game, by far, Craig. Come on. This man. Oh my God. And when he has the little baby and the little thing, oh my God, I'm in love with him. So Dream Daddy Craig, hot damn. He is our first hot damn of the fucking video. I'm cursing. I'm into it. I'm into this. We're back to the world of Dragon Age, and we'll be visiting them at least one more time in this video. But for now, we're visiting them with one of my all-time favorite romances. And yes, he is going to be going in the hot damn section. We have Dorian from Dragon Age Inquisition. This man, my God. My God. This man right here, this man, chef's kiss. Absolutely. This man though, Dorian. Dorian was part of my God, who do I choose situation in Dragon Age Inquisition, which just made me do 2 playthroughs that were relatively similar in playthroughs. It's the only reason why I never went back and fully romanced Cullen as a female Inquisitor, because I was too busy playing 2 of the same run through, and at that point I was just like, I don't want to play Dragon Age Inquisition anymore. And it happens every time. But I will say this though, Dorian is not my favorite from this game, and we'll get to that later. But now we have the person who I originally thought was going to be like my top pick for the game. Because when I played the early access version of this game, he was the only option at that point, if I recall. We are talking about Gale from Baldur's Gate 3. Gale he is adorable. He's gotten a lot of hate because he's like the devs accidentally made him low-key they made him like low-key desperate and like obsessed with you. And it kind of worked for me because I have issues. But then at the end of the game, at least in the original release, which I believe they have fixed it, it's like really hard to get his actual like romance ending where you get married and stuff. And because of that, just because of like his obsession with the magic and the way he's so willing to just give you up, it feels, he's gonna go into my oh yes category, because I do still think he's fine as hell. Daddy Wizard, come on. But there is someone in the game that is superior, and we'll get into that. Anyways, now we're at someone who I do love. Playing, I played the original Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, absolutely adored it. Absolutely loved it. And of course, when Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life came out, you guys saw I did a couple videos on it. I did comparisons of the original map to the new map. I loved that game. And I still do. And I love the edits they did to the bachelors, because they made them frankly more attractive, which actually made it difficult for me to decide who I was going to marry. But it wasn't the moment I saw Gordy or Cody, depending on what version you're playing. Here's my only thing. Yes, they made Gordy more palatable. They also made him younger, so it wasn't as creepy that you were getting married to him. He was a beefcake in the original game. And it is upsetting how they got rid of his big ol' muscles. They could have prettied up his face and still gave him big ol' muscles. He's still fine as hell in this game. So he's getting an oh yes, just because I do love Gordy, and I love him with our child. He's amazing. Now we are back to Baldur's Gate 3, and we're at our next hot damn of the video. Halsin, oh my God. Actually, he's at the top of this list. And sorry, Craig, but I think Dorian's there. Gale is... I forgot that I do need to organize these a little bit better. Gordy's hotter. Okay, so, Halsin, the daddy bear. Oh, I do like the mods that make him a little bit more like, give him a little bit more of a belly, like a little bit more of a belly and a little bit more like beef, because yes, but Olsen. This man right here. When I tell you, oh my god. We're gonna pass over the implication that you have sex with an actual bear, but either way, him, so fine, at the top of Hot Damn. But you want to know who beats him? You want to know who beats him in the Hot Damn category? Iron Bull from Dragon Age Inquisition. Let's start first of all, physicality. This massive beef slab of a man. Oh, the pecs, the body, the arms, Jesus Christ. The horns weirdly do it for me. I'm into all of it. I love him. I actually dislike, because there's some armor that you can put on him that I would use because it it makes him shirtless, but it tightens up his body and I don't like that. Let him have a little bit of beef. Anyways, Iron Bull though, if you just ignore everything else and you focus on physicality, so fine. Already deserves to be at the top of this list. However, when you learn that Freddie Prinze Jr., the man that he is voice acting him, that's just fine on fine. That's double fine. That's fine squared. That's insane. That's nanny fine. That's crazy. So I absolutely, Iron Bull. All right, we're back to the should have been fruitier category with James from Mass Effect. James, I think Vega was his name. This one pissed me off because by Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect was letting you be fruity as hell. They couldn't just give us James? Really? They couldn't just give us James. They couldn't just give us the beefcake who worked in I think he was an engineer. He was so hot. They had all those scenes of him doing pull-ups and it's unfair. And you can only have a brief hookup with him as female Shepard in a DLC. That is upsetting. I couldn't even do a full playthrough as a female Shepard to date him, and I'm upset about it. But that does bring us to another really fine ass man. But I don't think I say fine ass. He is hot. He could be worse, but he could be better. We're going still with Mass Effect. We're going with Kaidan. Kaidan is good. I do like him. I wish there were more options personally for a male Shepard with male. I'm trying to remember. I don't think Garrus, because I feel like I would have romanced Garrus. He can also go in the should have been fruitier. If I'm right, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played Mass Effect 3, but Kaidan absolutely should. He was hot, but he could. There was more potential there. I just had a crazy hiccup. All right, so now we're gonna go. This might be controversial. I don't know if it's gonna be controversial. Cyberpunk 2077, Carrie. It felt like that was true. I mean, that really was your only option for a long-term romance. I think in the core game, at least. As from what I remember, it's been a while since I played Cyberpunk. I remember I actually stopped playing Cyberpunk because the game on PC was bugged. Obviously, it was horrible after it released. But there was a bug in one of the primary quest lines that was for Johnny, right? That's what Keanu Reeves is. It's for Keanu Reeves' storyline. And it's also a required quest to romance Carrie, which at the time, which was, I think the only male romance option for a male V. Anyways, Carrie's hot. He's cool. He's sexy. Yes, absolutely. I fell for him. He was great, but he was the only option. And if there were other options, and I thought there was one other option, I would have chosen them. And we'll get to that upsetness later. So now we're back to we're going from the future all the way to the past. We're in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, let me phrase this by saying that was it Alexios? My assassin, he was a slut. I hooked up with everybody that game let me do. I mean, every man, woman, beast, whatever the game let me run with, I ran with. I especially love that quest line where you're helping the cursed guy you're helping the guy who got an awful prophecy from a seer, and you kill his mother and you bone his dad, and that weirdly fits the prophecy that he got. I love it, absolutely. We're coming at Oh God, what is his name again? I think it's like Likehouse. Likehouse? I don't know. I thought his name was Lion. I feel like in my brain. So, here's the thing. Here it is. I almost want to put him in only option because I don't remember there being a really good like long-term romance option. At least in the core game. Again, I actually don't remember if I played through any of the DLC for Odyssey. I loved Odyssey, but it was so much. He's gonna go in only option for now, but I think I still would have chosen him because he's fine as hell, and he was like, I think he was a doctor or something. He was really sweet. He was a sweetheart. And his storyline, I liked his quest line for him. But he's going in only option for now. That might change. I told myself I was not gonna have just all these people in Hot Damn, but let me tell you that I'm gonna have a lot of people in Hot Damn, and the next on the list is Mark from Coral Island. Now, he is not actually my primary romance in Coral Island, and we'll get to who my primary romance was. But Mark is, I mean, look at this. Yes, did I choose a photo of him in a Speedo on purpose? Next question. Mark from Coral Island is so hot. I am in, oh my, the body, the attitude, like that loner, like kind of douchey vibe really does, it shows my hurt. But Mark in Coral Island, my God. And I honestly think I find him more attractive than Dorian, I think. It's the body, yaddy. So, now that we're Coral Island Mark, we'll get back to Coral Island in a couple entries, but our next entry for sure is another should have been fruitier. So this one is actually going to go above James because I do like him better. For anybody who played the OG Harvest Moon games, not even OG, this is like Wii days. There were two games, Tree of Tranquility and Animal Parade. Holy hell, do I hope they do a remake. I think they should just do a remake of both and kind of bundle it or like make it like a continuation story. Because they're almost like alternate universes. It's weird the way that those two games work. That's actually kind of how a lot of them go, though. Because like Harvest Moon DS and Harvest Moon and Wonderful Life are not connected, but it's the same group of characters. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Owen from Tree of Tranquility and Animal Parade is just... He's the only thing we have for like a muscle man. But he's hot. He's hot either way. He would have been in my Oh Yes, at the top of my Oh Yes probably. Genuinely, I loved him. As a kid, seeing him, I was like, is that an option? But it wasn't. That's part of why I want an Animal Parade or Tree of Tranquility remake. Not just because I love the game mechanics from those games, and I do. But I want to be fruity with Owen. Owen is so fine. And like literally, you just can go into his house and he's just lifting weights. And I'm like, I'm just going to cry. Like, I love this man. I recently replayed... I think it was Animal Parade that I replayed, and I was just like, God. And I played as a female farmer solely so I can marry him. Anyways, we're coming back to, I'm going to say only option, and I want to let myself explain here. Paladin Danse from Fallout 4. Was he the only option, the only male option? Absolutely not. Now, Paladin Danse for a Fallout game is hot. Also, his whole quest to get him to romance him, you kind of have to fuck over the Brotherhood of Steel. And I hate the Brotherhood of Steel. Hey, between you and me, they suck. They're awful. They are the bad guys. Them and the Enclave, they're both bad. There's different kinds of bad. Anyways, enough of that. So yeah, Paladin Danse was who I chose. He felt like he was truly the only option. For a game as big as Fallout 4, they should have had way more romance options. Way more. And it doesn't feel like there was. Get to work on that, please. They should have let me romance Nick Valentine. I would have romanced Nick Valentine. I can't do skin falling off or flesh peeling off of your body. I can do a synth. I kind of sounded like him there. Okay, now we're back to who is almost as hot as Iron Bull, but not quite. We're back to Coral Island, and we're with my boy, Raphael. That man. Just the perfect amount of, like, beef, a little bit of a belly, but still, like, defined with big muscles. He's shy and sweet and adorable. Everything about him is just so hunky. Very kind of himbo vibes. Oh, my God. Oh, you just know he respects women. Oh, you just know he treats his mother right. That man. that man is probably one of my all-time favorite romance options in a game. I literally boycotted Coral Island for a minute because they on Game Pass on PC, there was a bug that prevented you, because you could miss your wedding day and then it just prevented it. And I literally put the game down for almost a year because I couldn't marry Raphael. I had already proposed, so I couldn't even do like another option. I straight up missed the wedding because the game bugged out. And then I don't know how recent, but an update did fix it. And last I played, I got married and we lived together. It's great. I love Raphael. And he's a blacksmith. Come on. That's like top 10 hottest jobs. Come on. Anyways, now we are at our final entry with Should Have Been Fruitier. Remember how I told you that Carrie felt like the only option, and I thought there was another option? They let you get decently far in trying to romance Mr. River. He's going at the top of this list. He is the hottest man on this list, on this Should Have Been Fruitier list. River from Cyberpunk 2077. The hot ex-cop. I think he's an ex-cop or ex-detective or something. I don't know. He's fine as hell, big and muscular, has the cybernetic eye. They let you get so close to romancing him that it feels like he has feelings for you as male V. But then I think you like touches like he's like, whoa, no, sorry, that's not. I just don't swing that way. Why are you doing this to me? It's 2077. Are we not all fruity by this point? Come on. Why are you doing this to me? Hey, CD Projekt Red. Hey, come here. No, I want to have a talk. Why do you hate queer people? I'm just kidding. I know you guys are actually like allies. And ally, great. River should have been queer. Patch it so I can date him. There's probably a mod. I need to just download the mod and replay, because I've been wanting to replay Cyberpunk anyways. River is fine as hell. Oh, I'm just sorry. I'm thinking about this. I did go back and play as a female V just to get through his romance, and I stopped playing. That scene changed me. Okay, so now we're at this one. I genuinely, when I first remembered him, he was only going to be at could be worse, and then possibly only option, because I think he is the only option for a male legate in Greedfall. Sorry, let me rephrase it. Let me go back. Greedfall, it is the romance option Vasco, who is the pirate captain that you can have on your team, and you can romance as either male or female. He's hot as hell. He's definitely like bisexual hotness, all in all. The face tattoos, the neck tattoos, the pirateness. He's sexy. When you romance him, he calls you his Tempest. Like, it's just, he's so poetic and hot. Ugh, I love him. He's actually at the top of my oh yes. I think he might be the hottest man in my oh yes. For me, this is all personal opinion. If you think that Arlo from My Time at Portia can take you behind an abandoned Arby's and absolutely give it to you big style, that's up to you. I'm not even saying I wouldn't let him. I'm just saying that for me, he was okay. I don't know why I chose Arlo for that example. Caden was the more obvious answer there, but whatever. Anyways, Vasco is so hot. I absolutely love Vasco. Lastly, we have something that's going to break my own rules here. One of my all-time favorite life sim games, and I mean all-time favorite, and this is somebody who's played like all of them. Most of them. I've played a lot of them. Wildflowers. First of all, if you have never played Wildflowers and you like farm sims, life sims, cozy games, get it. Seriously. Like, I'm not joking. Right here, Wildflowers. Wildflowers is a game. So it's unique in where it's a life sim, like farm type game, kind of like Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons, but your character is not a self-insert. You are playing a established character with a background, storyline, voice actor who does a phenomenal job. All the voice acting in Wildflowers is great. So you play Tara. I think her name's Tara. That feels right. We're going to say Tara, and if I'm wrong, oops. So you play Tara, who comes back to the port town that I don't remember the name of. But you come back because your grandma is sick and you're going to help her take care of her land and blah, blah, blah. you find out that your grandma was actually a powerful witch and the leader of a coven on the island full of other witches, and therefore your powers are awakened, but then I think your grandma dies or something, and so you kind of join the coven and start working with them. You eventually find your way to a hidden, like, magical part of the town that you can only access from a boat at your own little pond on your land. And you meet several cool characters, some like goblins and fairies, and you meet one Mr. Wesley. Wesley is an adorable bookshop owner who's also a werewolf, and he's hot as hell. And I love him. And I'm just gonna sit here right here. They gave you a lot of hot options in that game, a lot of great options, male, female, and non-binary. A lot of them so great. You think I'm not gonna the werewolf? Do you know me but at all? Yeah, no, Wesley's hot as hell. Now, some would argue that he should be in the should have been fruitier category, because technically you can only play as a female farmer in Wildflowers. You're right, but also it's my list. And he's going right before Gale, or right under Gale on my OES category, because I love Wesley, okay? And Wildflowers is one of the greatest games ever. Also, fully voice acted. You do not get that with Life Sims these days. Even nowadays, you just don't. Okay, so we've done it. We rated, these are the men. Again, I've played so many Life Sims. There's probably 100 men that I've romanced in video games. In Life Sims, RPGs, whatever. However, these are the ones that pop up in my head the most. These are the ones I think about at night. That's my list, everybody. This was wildly inappropriate. This is probably the most, I feel like, at least on my channel, I'm a very inappropriate person. But on my channel, it's probably the most inappropriate I think I've gotten. These men are all fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed today's content, please subscribe, like, and or comment. Also, feel free to check out my TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, which are all linked in the description below. Sorry, X is what Twitter is now. Whatever. That doesn't roll off the tongue. And then beneath that, you'll find a link invite to the Discord channel, so feel free to hop on in and join the 282. But other than that, thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye! I'm a whore. A slut. A vagabond. Oh, happy Pride Month!